Back here on Spotlight, it is week 5 of college football on deck. Number 15, Tennessee and Mississippi State are going to meet in a battle of a great offense versus a great defense. So Tennessee averaging just over 53 points per game this season. They're led by that guy, Joey Aguilar, who has 200 or more passing yards in 28 straight games. Meanwhile, Mississippi State just under 12 points per game in their first four games. Let's get back to the Joey Aguilar stats, though, shall we? 12 passing touchdowns this season, which, by the way, is tied for the most in the SEC. Let's welcome in our college football analyst, Brandon Marcello. So, Brandon, want to get to the Tennessee sides of things first. There was a lot of drama at the quarterback position for Tennessee in the offseason. We all know that. But Joey Aguilar seems to be fitting in and doing just fine.
You know, what's funny is a lot of the coaches there, when they got Joey Aguilar on campus, they said, we look like we've won the quarterback trade, so to speak. And the numbers are proving themselves out. You mentioned the 12 touchdown passes. That's the third most through 4 games in Tennessee history, just behind Mr. Peyton Manning. In fact, it's the fastest start ever for a Josh Heupel quarterback there at Tennessee. So he's just clicking. The big thing for him, though, is that he's cut down on the turnovers. Those were issues for him previously at UCLA and especially at Appalachian State. He's got an incredible story, as we all know. He was not recruited out of high school, went to the junior college route, and just kept moving his way up, and now he's playing big-time football in the SEC. He's number 3 in the nation in passes of 40-plus yards this year. He is just absolutely killing it in that Josh Heupel offense, and what would you expect? Heupel just makes the best quarterbacks even better, and you can see it right now, that veteran leadership, too, with Joey Aguilar and that experience translating on the field. Whereas last year under Nico Iamaleava, when he started getting into tough games, that production started to chill out a little bit. Not under Joey.
Yeah, we see it there, that Tennessee offense in the ranks, first, and second. So obviously, he is your player to watch here for Tennessee, Brandon. So, I mean, just how much of his success as a whole, or the team's success as a whole, really depends on him moving forward throughout the season, not only in this game, but beyond that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, obviously, he's got the ball in his hand on every snap practically, but also he just needs to continue to trim down the turnovers. Don't start having all these turnover problems that you've had in the past. We can't afford to see him in the future have a 2-interception game and maybe a fumble here and there. Those were issues that always came up, especially at Appalachian State. He put up good numbers, but the interceptions would end up hurting them in some really tight games. But also, I think they need to mix things up, maybe improve upon what they've already got in the playbook, expand things a little bit, try some new things out to catch all these other defenses kind of off kilter a little bit. Because Joey Aguilar, he's got the arm strength. He's got a gigantic, monstrous arm throwing the ball downfield. As I mentioned earlier, this guy is hitting long bomb after long bomb, ranking 3rd in the nation at 50-yard passes or more, and that's going to continue to go up. It isn't like he's someone who hasn't faced any good defenses. He just faced Georgia, and I know they lost. They went to overtime in a game that Tennessee should have won, but he was prolific. He was awesome in that game, and if he could do that against Georgia's defense, he can do it against any defense he's going to face this season.
I was going to say, it feels like Tennessee should be sitting at 4-0, but they're not. Obviously, we know how that Georgia game played out. Mississippi State, they are sitting at 4-0, but this is kind of their first true SEC test. I mentioned the defense. They've been playing so well, averaging just under 12 points per game here. This is a whole other beast with Tennessee, of course, but how much are we going to learn about this Mississippi State squad from this game?
We're going to learn a whole lot because the start to this season, despite being 4-0, isn't much different from last season. Remember, last season they went 2-10. Their schedule is very similar, and they went on the road and almost beat Arizona State. Well, they finally beat Arizona State this year in a tight game, but it was at home, so they got that advantage there. But if you look at this roster, it's bigger up front, and it's so much faster at the skill positions. I talked to several coaches there this week. I talked to one of their best players there in Brennan Thompson and their quarterback Blake Shapen. They are just faster. They're more on the same page this season. They are really looking like an SEC team finally. And when you couple that with the defense, as you said, only allowing 11.8 points per game, that's the best start by the defense in 4 games since 1999. And if you're old enough to remember those those defenses under Joe Lee done at Mississippi State. Boy, were they salty. But this is a different animal. Arizona State's offense hasn't been as explosive as we saw last year, so I don't think you can really judge Mississippi State completely with a full picture here, but you will after this week because Tennessee is going to be one of the best offenses they face this entire season.
Yeah, that defense back in 1999 was letting up about 7 points per game, to your point there. Absolutely insane. Your impact player to watch is Brennan Thompson. I know you mentioned you just spoke to him. What did you learn from that conversation? Tell us a little bit about it, Brandon.
I've always heard rumblings around him that they think he might be the fastest player in college football. Well, Brennan Thompson told me I'm definitely the fastest football player. In fact, his teammates were saying he doesn't run the 40-yard dash because he doesn't want to know what his 40-yard dash time is before he goes to the NFL Combine. But I was told by one of their coaches there that he ran 23 miles per hour on a GPS here in the offseason. He also was former teammates with Xavier Worthy at Texas. Now, if you guys are familiar, Xavier Worthy broke the NFL Combine record in the 40-yard dash 2 years ago with 4.21 seconds. Well, he looks forward, Brennan Thompson, to being able to run the NFL Combine 40-yard dash here in the near future. He says he's going to be very, very interested to see how he stacks up. But Brennan Thompson's been a big key to their success. He's one of their top 2 receivers, and he caught that game-winning touchdown pass against Arizona State, found a soft part in the middle of the field, and then blew past by the entire defense. He's number 1 in the nation, tied for number 1 in the nation in yards, 50-yard passes or more in catches. The guy's just a blazer and has really added another dynamic to this Mississippi State offense and this air raid attack.
Okay, so now I can't wait for the Combine. I'm going to be all eyes on Brennan Thompson for that 40 time, and we know Xavier Worthy is so dang fast, so if he can break that, that is going to be insane. It is time for a game prediction. Brandon, Tennessee 7.5-point favorites, the total sitting at 62 and a hook, so give us a pick, my friend.
I'm going to go with Tennessee here. I just think that their offense is way too explosive. And as we mentioned, Mississippi State's defense hasn't really been tested all that much this year. Sam Levitt at Arizona State hasn't been doing as well all season this year. Their running attack has kind of taken a little bit of a step back. But there is one issue with Mississippi State's defense that has popped up from time to time. It's the rush defense. They're still allowing some big chunk yardage here and there. In fact, Arizona State still picked up 200-plus yards against them on the ground. Tennessee, though, loves to throw the ball. They're going to stretch the field, but I think they're going to get more than their fair share of yards on the ground. I think Tennessee wins, and I also think the Vols cover here.
All right, Brandon, we certainly appreciate it giving us a Tennessee-Mississippi State preview. All going down tomorrow, 4:15 Eastern, 23 miles per hour.
That's insane.
I cannot get over that. For more really cool stories and all the stories behind the headlines in college football, make sure you check out College Football Insiders, our college football podcast here at CBS Sports. You can watch right now by scanning that QR code on your screen.
Yeah,